Well, first off, I think the last thing we want to do is to get involved in a land war in Africa. We are winding up one land war in Asia as we are prosecuting yet another land war in Asia, and the last thing we need is a land war in Africa. If diplomacy is, if avoiding any kind of war, ours or anybody else's, is our goal, we have to rely on diplomacy. This subject happens to be important to me. I appreciate the question you're asking because I actually have visited the Sudan. The first and only bipartisan delegation that I've traveled on that did not go visit our troops in Iraq or Afghanistan was to go to Sudan to visit firsthand with the non-government organizations, the relief organizations, the leaders in the UN and the African peacekeeping forces that are there, as well as representatives of the government of Sudan, South Sudan, and neighboring countries, to learn firsthand what's going on there. What I think we need to do is everything we possibly can to make the referendum, which is called for in the Comprehensive Peace Agreement, as a resolution of a 21-year-old civil war, to give the South Sudanese folks the opportunity to vote on secession and to have that fully carried out. That's going to require working with UN peacekeepers and our partners in the UN to make sure that this referendum is meaningful. We now have, as a result of engagement by our government, first George Bush, I'll give him credit for this. He raised sanctions and imposed sanctions and gave notice of that just before our trip, and as a result of which we didn't get a chance to meet with the president of Sudan. Well, I'll tell you, being snubbed by an indicted international war criminal is no insult to me. It's a badge of honor. But I'll tell you, he started the ball rolling, and this administration, to its credit, is keeping the diplomatic pressure on. We have to make sure that our rivals, who are interested in all the oil in that place, don't sense an opportunity out of their self-interest and their lack of concern for human rights to move in and undercut our effort to boycott the influences of the government of Sudan. We have to make sure that we keep the pressure on by keeping everybody engaged. I think that's been a successful effort thus far, and I'll continue to support the administration as they work with our partners to make sure that that referendum is a success.